Today in Grow a Garden in Roblox, I have 5 updates for you that Jandal needs to put in the game. They're complicated, they're intricate, and they're above and beyond any update we've had so far because Jandal has said he wants to make things better. He wants to do better than he already has. And I have 5 insane ideas for you. If this sounds interesting, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, become part of the first 200k OGs on the channel, and let's get into the video. Like I said, these ideas are elaborate and will require a lot of effort from the developers to pull off, but they're more interesting than what we've done before. And the first idea I have is a Ice Age themed idea, but it's not just so simple as that. First step, the entire map covered in snow, walking on the ground, you're slipping around, you're sliding, it adds new movement to the game. But every hour, the event triggers. Okay, here's what happens. Every hour, the event triggers. And let's say a huge snowy mountain erupts from the far side of the map, past the gear shop, right over there, erupts into the distance. And you have to actually climb the mountain because at the top of the mountain is an angry Yeti. He's hungry, he's starving, and he's angry. And you have to climb up to him with as much food as you can carry, and your entire server has to feed him to make him calm down and be tranquil again. If you do, you get your rewards for the hour. If you don't get your rewards for the hour. But there's a trick. He's at the top of said mountain that erupts into the distance, erupts into the sky. And the mountain is slippery, and the mountain is treacherous. And he's throwing snowballs down you because he's so grumpy and he's so angry. And maybe there's obstacles along the way that you can hide behind to be protected from the snowballs coming down the mountain. But if you do manage to get up to him and you feed him, you throw food at him like an offering in a big pile, eventually when you reach 100%, he is happy, rewards are given, and he gives rewards based off of how much food you give him within the time lot allowed. Now that's the hourly part of the events. But now we've got the other things around the event. So we have the Ice Age theme. We got to think about pets that go in the eggs. So for example, you've got the Yeti. I think the Yeti should be the rarest part of that egg. You probably could have a saber-toothed tiger. You could have a woolly mammoth. You could have simple creatures like a penguin, for example, other things like that. And then for plants, you've got things like snow lilies and maybe like a tree that has frozen snowflakes as its fruit. That would be the rarest one. It would be like a snowflake blossom or a snow blossom, and it's like snowflake fruits. You can do something like that. I don't know. But the concept of climbing this treacherous mountain as snowballs are coming down at you that push you right back down the mountain to try and feed him is an interesting event that you can do every hour, and maybe more people on your server can be done faster and better. It's a fun mini game, but it's not as easy or simple as many of the other events we've had. Now, that's my first idea. Oh, I've got more than that, and they're even better. Now, idea number 2 is a space event. We've heard rumors of a space event, but instead of having to climb a mountain, you guys remember during one of the admin mutations where we have asteroids that we can climb with low gravity? Oh, could you imagine having to carry things up, jumping from asteroid to asteroid like a weird obstacle course to get to the place where the rewards are kept? Maybe instead of having this here in the middle, you have a crop circle, you know, where aliens land in real life. The crop circle, right? And every hour, the alien comes over top of the crop circle and the beam comes down and then the asteroids appear and the gravity goes to 0 Gs. You have to jump from asteroid to asteroid to get to the spaceship because they're looking for food. And once you bring them enough food, you get your reward. Similar concept, but instead of climbing the mountain, you have a low gravity asteroid obstacle course you have to complete. What I'm trying to do with these events is give us things to do instead of just cook the food and wait, right? And those types of things. Or do the quests and wait from the prehistoric event, etc. Now, space themed, there are so many cool space themed pets you can do, different kinds of aliens and things like that. I think a space themed egg would be insane. It would allow the developers to be really creative with what kind of pets they want to add to the game. They could have the space dog. There was a Cosmo, the first dog in space. Have a little dog with an astronaut suit on with a bubble over its head, like an astronaut suit. That'd be kind of cool. You could have a cute little robot pet, kind of like the junk bot, but way cuter, nowhere near as big. And then maybe the rarest thing in the egg could be the little Martian, you know, like a little Martian from Mars, something. I don't know. And then plants for seed packs. Oh my God, you have so many cool alien plants. Just go onto Google and look up alien plant life that people have drawn up in sci-fi. Oh, there's some cool looking plants you can make that are alien and out there in sci-fi and so cool. Now, those first 2 updates, those first 2 concepts are not my favorite concepts. I saved my favorites for later. This third one is really, really cool. And I've seen lots of people mention it as a concept, and that is an underwater event. But it's not as simple as that. So every hour, the map floods. We already have the technology. We have the flood mutation going on, the flood event. We can do that. Every hour, the map floods. And then you get to swim around the map during that hour, during those 10 minutes of that hour. But when it's not that hour, in the middle of the map here, you have a pen for animals, like a pen for horses. But it's not horses, it's seahorses. And let's say this area part of the thing is underwater, and you have the seahorses in the pen, and they're just kind of hanging out. But every hour, flood. And the seahorses escape, and they scatter all across the map in 360 degrees in every direction. And what you must do is you must race against time and swim after them, because you can swim in here. You swim after them and give them enough food to tame them. So you can jump on them and ride them back to the pen. And the more seahorses you bring back to the pen, the more rewards you get from the stable boy who's so grateful they brought back his seahorse, because if you didn't, he was getting so much trouble. And boom, you get a reward structure. You can do this every time. And maybe the sea-specific food, if there's sea-specific food in this event, maybe the different seahorses like different foods. Maybe you swim up to a red-colored seahorse and he really wants peppers. Or you swim up to a blue-colored seahorse and they really want grapes or something, or a purple one for grapes, or whatever you want to do. You can do it like that too. So different foods are better for different seahorses that have flown off. They won't calm down unless you give them the right food. And the sheer amount of sea creatures you could have for rewards in the egg. Imagine a dolphin. If you put a really cool dolphin as the number one, or shark. No. Dolphin's a 3% hatch. The shark is the 0.5% hatch. Everybody loves sharks more than dolphins. Give us a shark. That'd be so cool. And if you're going to do a week 2 of that, the first week you can do normal sea creatures, and then the second week egg, you can do like fantastical sea creatures. We're talking like krakens, we're talking like mermaids and merfolk. So that was my third idea for an event. Underwater, chase down the seahorses, bring them back. That'd be a cool idea for an event. I like this one though. This next one's really cool. We are going to grow a garden, and we're going to change it into a survival game for this next event. This next event is the Volcano Event. It's an apocalyptic event. In this event, every hour in the middle of the map, the volcano comes up and begins to erupt, sending meteors, kind of like we have now, sending giant hunks of rock at everyone's gardens. And by the way, update the targeting, because the targeting from the real volcano in the game is horrible. Volcano event, rocks going to the gardens. Our job is to protect something in the middle of our garden. Imagine there is something in the middle of our garden only for this event. It's located right here in the middle. Okay, right here. Maybe it's a weird egg and we have to try and prevent it from being crushed. And if we do, we get rewards. Or maybe it's a excavator, an archaeologist, and he wants to set up camp here, and he wants to dig into the ground to uncover something really valuable. And he needs protection from the volcano event. So how do we protect him from the volcano event? We surround him with a wall of plants. And with that wall of plants, the volcano erupts and the rocks impact the wall of plants, and it actually destroys your plants. I'm not kidding. Bear with me on this, okay? Bear with me on this. It will destroy your plants. Your plants have different amounts of HP. It destroys your plants. And as the volcano event keeps happening, your plants start to get destroyed. So you have to, every single hour, erect a really cool, really effective wall around your guy or whatever it is in the middle to protect it. If you protect it successfully, you get rewards. You get rewards based off of the amount of HP the object has at the end of the event of the hour. And if you're going to do an event like this, Jandal, if you're watching, give us a third garden right here. Give us a third garden. We need the third garden, because if we don't have it, people are going to lose their minds and completely have their things removed. So give us a third garden specific to this function. At the end of the event, allow us to keep that garden as a third garden. Congratulations, you all finished the event. Congratulations, you get to keep your third slot. Which means you got to be careful, because you don't want to have too few seeds and too few plants in your inventory to protect yourself from the volcano. So you're going to have to increase the amount of seeds, or have the seeds respawn every hour, or find some way to allow us to continually replant things in the garden in preparation for the event that happens every hour that's trying to destroy whatever we're protecting in the middle of the garden. I want to build walls of bamboo to protect whatever's in the middle of that garden. You know what I mean? Just an idea. And my final idea takes that concept and switches it. Instead of a volcano, we're basically going to have a week or two of build to survive every hour for 10 minutes. It's a zombie apocalypse. and the zombies erupt from the center of the map. Maybe they crawl out of the ground, crawl out of the graves. Great for Halloween event, by the way. They crawl out of the graves and they sprint to everyone's garden, and they're trying to get to you, the player, not something you're protecting in the middle. They're trying to get to you to eat your brains. If you survive the 10 minutes of the hour, boom, you get your rewards. Congratulations. So what do? We have to build a bunch of plants and surround our garden with a bunch of plants to protect ourselves like a fort, like a fortress. And the zombies are coming from every direction. So maybe instead of having them come out of the middle, they come out of cracks in the ground randomly, 360 degrees around everyone's garden, just like in a build to survive situation. And they're beating on your plants. This means you have to give plants an HP meter. So figure that one out, Jandal. But they're beating on the plants and they're trying to get to you in the middle. If you survive for 10 minutes, you get your rewards. And then you got to rebuild your garden. Again, if you're going to do something like that, give us a third garden with this functionality. And then at the end of the event, you remove the functionality and you just leave us with an extra third slot as a thank you for enjoying the event. Those are my 5 crazy ideas for events that Grow a Garden needs to spice things up, to get people interested. No more just cook your food, put it in the middle of the map, wait for the timer to finish. It's boring. We're done with it. Put in the effort, give us events with some obstacle courses, with some things to dodge. Let us have plants, have useful defenses, be creative, go out there and do something really, really cool, channels. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as a thank you. Become part of the first 200 KOGs. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.